Hi friends, welcome to my 10-minute tutorials on IG Live. Today we're going to break down Chaturanga Dandasana, and I think this is a great posture to help build your arm balance practice, and it's one of the things we do so commonly in yoga, but it doesn't always get broken down to the extent that we need to really build a strong Chaturanga practice. So if you have 10 minutes or less, join today. And I'm going to use Clorox wipes instead of yoga blocks because I know some people don't have yoga blocks at home, but I love using props, and there are a lot of things at home that you can use as an alternative. You want to find two things that are about the height of your forearm, so that is about the length of a block. I also have a strap today, so if you have a strap at home, it'll just be another option you can use to fine tune and check in on your Chaturanga practice. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing to Chaturanga is making sure that you're entering the transition from a plank that is aligned, shoulders over wrists, heels over toes. So if you're coming from down dog, you want to make sure that the distance between your hands and feet is going to set you up to come into a proper plank. So before even coming into down dog, a great way to check in is to start in the plank. Make sure that your shoulders stack over your wrists, heels over the toes, and then just lift the hips up and back. And that's a good way to measure distance between your hands and your feet. Now I'm going to show you Chaturanga all the way through, and then I'll show you ways that we can break it down and check in to make sure that we're doing this in a way that's best for our bodies. So you're going to inhale, come forward to your plank. Right away, notice if your hips are sinking down, you want to think about lifting them up, but you might be overcorrecting. So if the hips are hiking up, think about pointing the tailbone down towards your heels and hollowing out the low belly. Good. You also want to gaze where you're going. Just like a lot of arm balances, you want to have your gaze slightly forward on the horizon of the mat. Now, for Chaturanga, we're going to shift forward. The reason why we shift forward slightly is so that our elbows don't come back behind the wrist, which puts a lot of strain on the rotator cuff. So I'm going to shift forward just slightly so that when I bend my elbows back, they stack right over my wrist. Now I'm going shoulders down, my shoulders are at elbow height. Inhale, up dog. Now in up dog, a lot of times you like to let the knees drop down on the mat. You want to lift the kneecaps off the mat by contracting the thighs to protect the low back. And then you'll come to down dog. Okay, so let's talk about that. So in your Chaturanga, a lot of times, I think, especially when you're newer to yoga, you think, ooh, I want to do it just like a push-up and see how low to the ground I can get. And it's not more advanced to do it that way. It actually can cause a lot of rotator cuff pain over time because we do it so often in class. So if you're going down too low, below the elbows, it strains my rotator cuff sometimes, my hips lift and do something weird. So you just have to go elbow height. So I'm bending my elbows, I'm making right angles, wrist, elbow, shoulder. And one of the ways that you can check in is you can either have one block under the chest, or if you have two at home or Clorox containers, you can put two in front of the hands so that they fall underneath the shoulders. I'll show you one, just in case you only have one at home. So I have to put it slightly in front of my fingertips so that I remember I have to shift forward in space. And the thing that's nice is because this is about the same height as my forearm, I know that I won't go lower than my elbows. So I come into my high plank. I'm going to inhale, shift forward. And then as I exhale, I'm just going to tap it or hover, depending on the height of your forearms. So guys, maybe not touching if you have longer arms. And then back. And again, you can do this with two in front of your shoulders. And you can take a modified Chaturanga as well. So maybe you're staying on your knees and then you're lowering down. Just remembering to lift the knees back up when you find up dog. Now, another way you can check in is putting them behind your elbows. So that way, you know that the elbows aren't going back behind the wrists. You're staying forward. You're not knocking them out. Good. So, elbows are going backwards in space. They're not coming out to the sides. You want to imagine maybe grazing your rib here with the elbows. So if you're to bring your hands forward in front of you, the elbows would go straight back and just lightly graze the ribs there. So it's not the same as a normal push-up. Now, for some of us, you might have a strap at home. So if you're at home right now, now's a great time to buy home yoga supplies, especially yoga blocks or a strap. So you're gonna take your strap in a loop, and you're gonna bring it just on your biceps, just above the elbow crease, and it should be about shoulder distance apart. So if I were to bring my elbows back, they would come back just like when we practice Chaturanga. So this exercise, you come into your high plank, and you'll keep the strap taut between the arms, so the chest is broadening, activated. You'll inhale, shift forward, and when you exhale, the strap will catch you, so it'll tell you when to stop, and it'll hug your elbows into the sides of the ribs. So it's a nice way to check in, even if you have a mirror at home or can film yourself, just to see. And this extra support helps us to correct if we need to lift the hips or lower, and that way we're not burning ourselves out. Good. So let's see what time it is. Still working out the kinks of a 10-minute tutorial. Okay. So another piece of advice that I found helpful is, and especially if you're someone who loves to take power vinyasa classes and you're doing a lot of chaturangas, or maybe you have a stronger practice and it's just very much a part of the sequence. So if you're doing them a lot in class and it takes a lot of energy for you to whip out a chaturanga with good alignment, then I would say do as many as you can with proper alignment, taking care of your shoulders and wrists. And then the moment you see yourself starting to kind of push through them but let all the alignment go out the door, then just skip chaturanga for a few or for the rest of class. It's better to just get as many as you can in, getting the correct muscle memory, and then working up to maybe a full class later on. Because if you start to build that muscle memory in of just going through it, whether it's sort of like the 20th chaturanga class, and you're like, ugh, then you're kind of reversing all the work that you did before. So be patient, be kind to your body. Remember, it's never a competition, so take each day as you need. And you'll start to notice these patterns in chaturanga start to come into your arm balance practice. So, such as having elbows over wrists and shifting the weight forward, that's exactly what you need to do to get into crow pose. If your elbows are behind your wrists, you're gonna go backwards. So, start here in chaturanga, and the more you work on refining this part of the practice, then the easier you'll start to see other things getting. Good. So, I think that I just finished on time today. So, I hope everyone has a great day and finds this helpful, and namaste.